Why does it have to be so hot outside? Well, I guess one way of looking at it, we only got one more month of this, maybe two, not really sure. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from beautiful Duluth, Georgia. Now, Duluth is the upper north, or I should say upper northern region of Atlanta, kind of a suburban region. But here in this community, there is perhaps one of the coolest railroad museums here in the South, and that is called the Southeastern Railway Museum. And now the Southeastern Railway Museum, cool enough, or actually way more cool enough, actually that made no sense, but this is actually the largest railroad museum in the state of Georgia. And as you all can see, they do have a toy train. Looks like it's not really running at the moment, or maybe it's probably because it's the weekday. As of the filming of this video, also it's Thursday. Miniature Train Company 902. Kind of gives you an idea of what they're working with. Kind of reminds me of Lake Winnie, or like if you are like very familiar with Lake Winnepesaukah in like the upper north region of Georgia, like right on the state line. Forever ago, back in the 60s, I think it was around the 60s, they had the exact same model train that they used to push people around in the park. Looks like they've even got some, looks like, let me see, please donate 902 fund for paint. So looks like they're working on that one. But I will say, this one up front, that one looks really pretty. But then again, I am a train guy. I love my trains of all shapes and sizes. Always have, always will. I don't know, the pretty green color, I really do like that. So without further ado, you guys, we are going to get in this main hangar right here. Because in this main hangar is all these they have a lot of really cool old locomotives. One of them that I do want to see, it's called the General 2. Now I'm not sure if it's how there's a relation with the original General, you know, that was hijacked in Kennesaw, Georgia. And now this is cool. I know it's not really a train, but I like the marketing that they have here. Southeastern Railway Museum, Duluth, Georgia, and it's an old truck. I think that's a Ford. Yeah, a Ford F-250. They got it in the color of the green. You know, I like old trucks like this. I kind of wish that they made them like this still, but oh well. Now we have the Tesla truck, and well, I'm not gonna lie, it is cool to look at, I guess, but it's no truck. Okay, now this museum is way cool. It costs about $18 for admission, but in that $18, you also get a train ride out of it. And there is just so much here. So after we go on this 10-15 minute train ride, it's only gonna go up from here. This museum is really, really cool. We've only been here like 5 minutes. And this is what we're riding in, you guys.
Watch your step, please.
Okay. A Norfolk and Western. Okay. Oh, dude. This is cool. This is really cool. We are riding in a caboose. A restored caboose at that. And check that out. Got an old school stove. Now I remember when I was in Hartwell, Georgia, that's when we found an abandoned caboose. And so many people got on my case because I kept on saying old school. Probably wasn't the wisest thing, but I wonder if we can ride on top. I'm not sure if we can or not. We might try though. Dude. Oh, no, this is really neat. Look, you can sit right here and enjoy the ride. Old lantern. Check on the outside. By the way, you guys, they do have a lot of really cool buses. There is an interesting bus collection here. I'm kind of curious to see what maybe they've got that that they have sitting on the side. Kind of like what we saw in Cass, West Virginia. We're about to start, and I found out, yes, you can ride on the top, although just don't do it while the train is moving. Just in time. It's kind of hot up here. I've just never ridden on the top of a caboose like this. This is a first. Oh, dude, this is so cool. Whew. But I will say, it is hot in here. I say, let's ride in the back. That might be a better idea.
Now, wasn't that spectacular?
Very spectacular.
Wait, what?
I came just for that, actually.
That was pretty neat. What the conductor just did is he flipped that right there. It wasn't so darn hot. I'd sit at the top, but kind of like just to sit and enjoy the ride. So, having checked that out, I think we're gonna sit right here just to get a little bit of a breeze going. Yes. Yes. So what is that? Just like, what is that, compressed air, or is that
It's hooked into the brake system air, so it is compressed air, yes.
I was gonna say, that's like I mean, that's got to be under a lot of pressure to make a noise like that. Oh my goodness.
Clear for another 5 and the crossing remains clear. Standard signal when a train approaches a grade crossing. You'll see all the mainline trains do that.
Really?
Another 5.
Anyway, you guys, that's what we were talking about just now.
The 2 longs are short and the long. You'll hear all the trains use that when they do a crossing.
Really? So neat.
3 cars.
Okay, you guys, well, that was a short, fun 15-minute rail run. I liked it. Maybe the guys at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum could do something like this. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That was a fun, brief ride.
Watch your step.
Anyway, guys, let's go check out the museum, shall we? So now that we have gotten off the train, let me show you all what we rode in. This little beast right here is what we rode in. And you know what? They had one exactly like that up in Todd, North Carolina. Only thing is, it wasn't as nice. And it had broken glass and all the guts were pulled out of it. Then you got this Southern Railway car, an upper one that you could ride in. That's cool. Now that we have seen that, let's get on with the tour. We are going to go into the main building, like where all the cool things are. Well, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here anyway. I guess what I'm saying is we're starting out the tour. The personal, well, I'm not making sense. I'm gonna let the visuals talk. Let's do it. Here's the gift shop. Pretty interesting. We'll have to see some of the stuff that they do have here, like this right here. An O-meter. Huh. How cool. Now let us begin our tour of the Southeastern Railway Museum with this beauty right here. From what I understand, this is very similar to a Shay locomotive, although it's not a Shay locomotive. It's a Climax, from what I understand. A Climax we have seen before on this channel. They have one at the the Cradle of Forestry. The Cradle of Forestry in North Carolina. They have one on display. This beauty right here is a Campbell limestone. Campbell limestone. There we go. Number 9. It's a the Heisler Locomotive Works 1923 2-truck 2-cylinder geared coal burning steam locomotive, class 55838. Class code Artful Shop. Anyway, apparently over 600 of these beauties were made between 1891 and 1941. And I just like the fact, look how they have like deer horns on the top of that. Now that is awesome. First locomotive we've seen so far in the museum, or first one that we haven't rode on outside. There we go. And beside that, we have a mural. This is the Duluth train station, which, by the way, it is here on the property. And it's really cool. We'll probably see that when we check out what's here. Huh. And these are link pins. They're Lincoln pins. Let's see how those things work. Number 9. It looks like they won't let you climb into it, but I totally understand why they wouldn't let somebody get into that. Just look at all the work that went into this. Oh, cool. It's a refrigerator car. Way back when they were made out of wood, and this is one of the things that you would see, I'd probably say like maybe well, actually going even further back, probably to the 1860s. Because in the 1860s, a lot of their cars were wooden. Of course, you can walk up. You can see the interior. And I don't know what's up here, so I'm just gonna let the GoPro see it for me. And right beside the refrigerator car, we have some more guts that you would see like on the inside of some of these stations. Like a lot of stuff on on how all these cars and trains going back and forth would be controlled. Color position light signal. Danger. Testing high voltage. Got another searchlight signal. We've got a various display of some of the things you would see while out on a railroad line. Like those main line exits. Those are big. Or the siding exit. Oh, and they have one of these. Telegraphs. How all the communication was done during the Civil War. Or how the major communication was done during the Civil War. Oh, that's fun to do. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's probably a broken SOS. And here we've got what is a display of a railroad depot. Got some typewriters, got some freight scales. I've seen one of those at an antique store before. They're kind of expensive. And we've got mail carrier pieces, the stuff that you would send back and forth. And anyway, on the other side of that, you would have the depot where you would buy the tickets. Important holiday travel notice. Advanced coach seat reservations will be required July 2nd through the 8th. So this is an old setup of what a depot would be. Got what looks to have a church seats almost, but they're not church seats. This is when your train would be leaving or going or arriving. Seaboard Airlines, Central Georgia Railway, Southern Railway System, Atlanta and West. I don't really think any of these are left. I think some of them may have been consolidated at some point. So this is cool that not only do they have the railroad cars, but they've also got a lot of the stuff that went with the railways. Like look at these old ticket lines where I guess it'd be a ticket line or a ticket kiosk, I guess. No telling how many people have gone through one of those. And I walked right under that. And if that was a snake, it would have bit me. It's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Much like the refrigerator car, we've got a tool car. Looks like only authorized personnel can go in there. But they do have a standard setup of what one of these cars would have looked like. Here's a bit more info on it. Oh neat, they've got a mail car. I think it's a mail car. I might be wrong on that, as probably some of my critics on YouTube would say. Seaboard bunk car, built 1930 for the Seaboard Airline Railroad, designed as a home away from home for track maintenance, subway workers. Oh, well, I was very mistaken in that. Huh. But I did see one of these at the Cass Scenic Railway. Looks like there's nothing really inside of it though. But I do like the interior. And over across from that, we've also got some more stuff on what the railroads would look like. But a lot of these are the tools on what you would see. One-man tie tongs, always a good reliable hammer. Stuff that you would use to space the tracks, make sure that when a train came down the line, well that you would know that the one moron on the crew didn't screw things up. Of course, he couldn't screw things up. We've also got, like, of course, the tracks. And I don't know what the flag is. Probably here somewhere here on this. Here somewhere on this, but I can't find it. Now they have a really cool thing right here. These are from the early days of firefighting. Like this Athens Continental pumper. All that was filled with water, and when a fire would take place way back when, well, this was probably more or less one of the first fire trucks. And right beside that, you've got, well, a fire truck probably from about the 30s or the 40s probably. Anyway, let me see. 1940 Seagrave fire engine. So I was right. 1940s. It looks like this is a Central Georgia caboose. The right way. And it looks like this one you can go up in. So let's see what's inside of it. Hopefully I can get up in this one with my sandals just to check things out. And by the way, you guys, it is hot in here. But it's probably because it's in a hangar, or there's probably another name for it. I like how this one's set up. Of course, it's like you can sit. Yeah, you got the air pressure. And well, of course, you got this sign, probably for, especially for little kids or dummies like me. Descend the ladders on this car. Or locomotive facing the ladder for your safety. Just make sure somebody doesn't crack themselves in the head. That would not be fun. There's a stove. You know, like that one that we saw that was down on the, down in Hartwell. Looks like we've come on the end of this. And oh my God, they've got a steam locomotive. Oh my goodness, I have to get down and check this one out. Hopefully I don't fall or get hurt. Now, one of the things that I heard while going on the small train ride here at the museum is they mostly use all their diesel locomotives or their diesel engines, mainly because it's more cost efficient. I imagine probably no telling how much these steam locomotives go through. Oh my God, this thing is big. It honestly, it kind of reminds me of the one that they have at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Dude, I'm sorry, every time like I see like the tracks, every time I see the wheels on some of these older locomotives and I realize how big they actually are, it makes me think, just think about all the energy and power that these things put out. And before we go any further with that big locomotive, let's just take a moment to enjoy these pump cars. I'm sorry, every time I see one of these things, I am just so tempted to just get on it and think about that one scene in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know, where, you know, the black train conductor, you know, he talks about like all the prophesying, what will all happen to the three guys. Then they've got another one. This one looks a little bit older, or a little more mechanical, I should say. Well, it says, of course, do not sit on this one, but honestly, I don't blame them, because you wouldn't want a moron to get on that and do damage. But let's see what this thing is. A velocipede. A velocipede? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Cost around $75. And they are notoriously unstable. Well, that's good to know. Because knowing me, if I had the money, I'd probably buy one. Just saying. Let's get back to enjoying this beauty right here. The 750. This thing is very, very large. It's the American Locomotive Company, January of 1910. So this locomotive, 750, this train is, well, I'd probably say about 110 years old. And it definitely looks like it hasn't skipped a beat. She's still a beaut, and it looks like we can go upstairs. So let's go up here and let's check this out. Oh my goodness. Oh, nice. Look at all the works in this thing. All the pressure, all the gears. Of course, where, you know, you would throw all the coal into the machine, right, well, into the train. Of course, here's where they would shovel all the coal. This is a very large, very large coal operating area. I believe that'd be coal. Yeah, that's coal. This is cool. Now here at the museum, they do have something that is very cool from a historic perspective. Actually, they have two. Well, actually a lot. I guess what I'm trying to say is this museum has the very last train car that Woodrow Wilson was on before he passed. I think he was campaigning, I think. Trying trying to remember, but I know he was doing something, and while he was on the train, he died. I'm not sure if he was campaigning for after World War I, and he was trying to create the Legion of Nations, or if he was on a re-campaign. I can't quite remember that, but long story short, he died en route, and they have this train car, the last presidential car that Woodrow Wilson was in. And while we're on our way to see that, let's take in the beauty one more time of this steam-breathing giant. One of the beasts that conquered the West, a locomotive, the invention of the locomotive. I mean, absolutely amazing. The S&A. Wouldn't it be so cool to, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it can operate it if need be. That would be really cool to see that in operation. Got the Norfolk Southern. By the way, why I also said why they have numerous pieces of history here, from what I understood, I think that they have a car that FDR used as well. He didn't die in it, but he did use it. So if you want some cool presidential history that is here at the museum, they got that too. And I think, well, I think that the American flag gives it away. And I was right. This is the Marco Polo. President FDR used the Marco Polo during the first 2 terms in office and before as governor of New York. FDR became paralyzed from the waist down in 1921. He visited Warm Springs, Georgia, often for medical purposes. He would be there, and actually he would even die there in 1945. So this may have also been the last car that FDR rode in too. And it looks like this is where we can go inside to see it. So we're gonna walk up in here. Looks like some of it is closed off. So I guess I was wrong on that. Maybe. Yep, it's closed. But on the inside, you can see that it hasn't really changed. You gotta think, this was FDR's campaign car, where he rode in as president, and even when he was paralyzed, and even before when he was just the governor of New York. He was probably the best Democrat president that we've ever had. And from there, looks like this one we can go into. Maybe it's got a little bit of air conditioning in it. Let me see. Pullman private car Superb. This is where this is the chef's kitchen. This is where all people would get their food. This is where they would sit. Got a metal tray. I wonder what kind of food that they would make for something like this. I mean, it's very, as you can tell, it's not very spacious. Well, it's kind of cramped. But then again, I mean, that's anything with a locomotive. Just kind of puts off a Harry Potter kind of vibe, you know, like, except that you don't have Death Eaters trying to spy on you while you're taking a shower. By the way, like I said, I believe this one is the last car that Woodrow Wilson was on before he died, I think. Well, we'll find out more as we walk through this car. Or it might just be a typical coach car. I mean, why I say that is because going into this car from the main end, it does have a lot of American flags on it. Pullman private car Superb. This is probably, or this was more of a less expensive option, as it says. But wouldn't it be so cool to take a train trip through the mountains, maybe of Colorado, or maybe through the Smokies, of whatever's left, and just ride the whole track, just to see what people saw way back when. Oh, and that's neat. As you all can tell, I'm very sweaty right now. Huh. It's like we've got another car right there. It looks like, well, that says keep out, that's obvious. But look how small one of these beds would be while riding a train. That is small. Still really cool though. And looks like, let me see. Train with Harding's body starts east. State funeral in Washington. Wednesday, Coolidge and Capitol. Oh, so it was Hard. Oh, I feel like an idiot now. It was Harding, President Harding, that I could have. Well, I feel well. Okay. Well, anyway, this was the last train that President Harding ever rode in. Not Wilson. I thought it was Wilson. See, this picture shows Miss Harding, W.B. Ross, President Harding to the right. The people, the hats are Secret Service. And information donated to Roseanne Elroy Penton. So it looks like that is a letter. But as I was saying, this was the very last car that President Harding was in before he passed. So, I mean, that, like I said, this is just a beautiful train car with a lot of history to it. I don't know why I was saying President Woodrow Wilson. Anyway, President Harding, this was the very last car that he was in. And well, we've seen pretty much what is in the main exhibit hall, so let's walk around this place and let's see what else they have. And while we're walking outside, we'll take a look at some of these old cars. Now in the next exhibit area, they have a lot of old buses. I know they have buses and they have, oh yeah, that's where they have the General 2. Which, by the way, I found out what the General 2 actually was. It was a train that was at Stone Mountain. Which one of these days, we'll have to check out that one particular museum. That's on my list. If you're not careful, you might get lost out here. This is a very, very large museum. So over here, they have a lot of old buses, and they do have stuff that are out in their rail yard. They haven't exactly worked on. But I think with these, looks like that one you can go inside. I don't think you can go in those, but I'm probably wrong on that. And there's their Climax, which is a very close cousin to the Shea locomotive. Or it might not be a Climax. I'm not terribly sure. It might just be a old steam locomotive. I probably need to do some more research on my trains, just so I'm more poignant, so I know what I'm talking about. I just like the trains and I think they look really cool. CV21. Looks like that one is temporarily closed. So now that we've seen this side, I want to take a look at the other one. I want to see what's on that end too. Oh, that is so cool. I just love old trains. Let me see. This is the Superheater Co. Superheater, patented in the USA. Huh. So no, this one isn't their Climax. My apologies. My apologies. I believe their Climax was in the that one's in the that's in the main display area, the main exhibit hall. You know, and of course just to keep people from being stupid. I'm glad that they are conscientious of that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm toasty. Like, it is hot out here. Maybe I should have come in the fall. Maybe that would have been more interesting to see how this museum operates. I've got a caboose right there. I believe this is one of their travel cars. And on the other end, well, they've got some other trains, and they've got their buses. Well, we'll probably take a look at the buses after we take a look at the inside of these trains, or these train cars, I should say. So let's go up inside. Awesome. Well, looks like they're not connected. They might be connected. I know that the door on the other end is open. Let's see. Please, no food or drink inside the exhibits. Well, so I guess they aren't open to the public then. But at least we can take a look and see what's inside these passenger cars. Oh, that's neat. I take it this is where people would eat lunch, which that's totally ironic. Please, no food or drink inside the exhibits. So let's see what's inside this one now. We'll have to, looks like we'll have to go down the other way. Hopefully not fall, because that would not be good if we were to fall. And here we are. So let's see what's on the inside of this one. Yeah, that one's locked. Huh. Oh, it would be nice to see the interior of it. Now that we've seen that, let's see the one that I've been wanting to see since I came here. And that is the General 2. I believe it was a tourist train for Stone Mountain. No, it was a tourist train for Stone Mountain. Then it wound up here. It's interesting how stuff like that works. And here it is. The General 2. Steam locomotive. And it even has the aforementioned name on the side. The General 2. And as I was saying, this used to be in the Stone Mountain State Park. There we go. Used to be the one that used to give all the rides and whatnot. And looks like it's going to be another one of those situations where you have to put one foot in front of the other to get up here. Oh, this is nice. Don't know what that is. Looks like you could probably stand on this, or if you had to, walking back from one end of the train to the back end of the train. And that's where all that coal would get shoved into. It's like these have seen better days. But I bet they're still comfortable though. Please descend on the ladders or the car locomotives facing the ladder for your safety. They must have had a few really bad instances of people knocking themselves in the face to have something like that. So let's get down here. And now that we are back down, let's just enjoy this train one more time. I just love these kind of steam engines, especially with a bit of history added. Well, all of the trains have interesting history behind them. That's one of the things that makes trains so interesting, is not only are they cool to look at, they also have a really cool history attached to them. Like, for example, you could have a president that died in a railroad car. And, well, then you would also have somebody about nearly 100 years later that would misconfuse it, or that president for another president. Yes, I can't believe I did that, because I did my research and I knew it was Harding, but why was I calling him Woodrow Wilson? Yeah, I did that. And by the way, that is one thing that I'm trying to be a little more conscientious of and addressing of, is getting some of my information wrong. My trolls and my critics have let me know pretty hard in the past, and even though I don't really care about the trolls and their opinions, but they do pose a very valid point. You know, it doesn't really help when some of your info is wrong, which I will say on my end, I am just human, and a lot of times I really just enjoy, like, especially since we're out here at the Southeastern Railroad Museum, just enjoying the beauty of locomotives that have come and gone. I mean, I guess really, I mean, I might not know what they're called per se, but I really enjoy looking at them, because they're really, not only were a really cool tool at one point, but they also tell a great deal of history. But now that I've acknowledged that, yes, that is one thing that I'm trying to work on, because I know my channel is getting kind of big. And having said that, check these out. These are some of the old coal cars that would go on some of these bigger locomotives. Now, wouldn't it be cool to see like some of these like fixed up and on the showroom floor? That would be really, really cool to see. And it looks like maybe, just maybe, no, we can't get too far up to it, but it looks like we can see what's in there. And I wish I could go further, but I don't have the proper footwear, and there are a lot of briars right there, and that would just hurt. Just saying. Now let's check out a few of these buses. Looks like a lot of them are from the Atlanta area, or at least from what I can tell anyway. Looks like these you can also go into. That's a lot of money. Oh, and the old smell of a old bus brings back so many school memories. And also dealing with morons that would yell and be dumb, and the bus driver at the front would be like, "Hey, you kids, quit it." So let's check out some of these other not trains. What am I trying to say? Buses. You know, like bussin'. You know, kind of like, you know, that new term that the kids use. You know, it's supposed to like be like you're telling the truth. I mean, I don't understand why you simply just can't say like that you're telling the truth. That one I don't really get at all. And it looks like you can go in this one, but I don't know, it looks more like a modern bus. Although apparently this is from the Atlanta transit system, so I was right. I like the classiness of how the older buses looked. Oh, and awesome, you can go in this one. Oh yes. Well, I feel like a jerk. I like the classiness of some of these older buses. It also reminds me of how far we have come as a society. You know, those were some very sad times back then. Imagine, just because of the color of your skin, you would be forced to sit at the back when somebody who was white came to the front. In fact, speaking of that, looks like they've got General Motors' new look bus. This particular bus series was constructed from 1963 to 1967. And why I say going back to the darker side of history and how far we've come, you know, the lady who refused to give up her seat, Miss Rosa Parks. And maybe that'll be another one on the list. Maybe I'll visit the bus. That was the one that Miss Rosa Parks was on when all this took place. So who would have known it was one of these exact models when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. And those were some very, very sad times. We've come a far way, a long way I should say. And you know, I think I've seen just about everything I've wanted to see today. God, this museum was so freaking awesome. If you all are from the North Georgia area or East Tennessee area or in the area in general, like I guess within a 2-hour circumference, and you love trains, this place is for you. This is a really cool museum, and I had no clue that this was in my backyard. This was awesome. So anyway, you guys, remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care. Now y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over.